4 Super Bowls, 0 rings. The coldest stadium in football. No heaters on the sideline because suffering was strategy. The Purple People Eaters didn't just lose championships, they dominated an entire decade while America watched them come up short every single time. You remember where you were during Super Bowl 4, Super Bowl 8, Super Bowl 9, Super Bowl 11. 4 chances, 4 losses. The best team that never won. But what happened when the purple reign ended? When Bud Grant stopped coaching? When the Purple Gang hung up their cleats and faced life without the brotherhood of misery? Some became judges, some became artists, and some, football took everything they had and left nothing but fog. This is what happened to the greatest defense that never got a ring. Alan Page, 6'4", 245 pounds of relentless fury, who won the NFL MVP award in 1971, the first of 2 defensive players to ever do it. LT was the other. Played 218 consecutive games without missing a single start due to injury. 9 Pro Bowls. Hall of Fame in 1988. The man who made offensive linemen have nightmares for 15 brutal seasons. After football ended in 1981, Page went straight to law school at the University of Minnesota, graduated, became an attorney, elected to the Minnesota Supreme Court, first African-American justice in state history, served until mandatory retirement at age 70. But here's the thing, Page never stopped fighting for others. Established the Page Education Foundation, providing scholarships to students of color. Over 7,000 students funded since 1988. 2018, Presidential Medal of Freedom at 80, channeling his relentless drive through the Page Education Foundation. Fred McNeill, first-round draft pick in 1974, who played 12 seasons as a Vikings linebacker. The guy who attended law school at the University of Minnesota during his playing career. Nights studying torts while days he was delivering them. Became partner at Lindquist & Venom, a prestigious Minneapolis law firm after retirement. Then the fog rolled in. Memory lapses, mood swings. The same brilliant legal mind that navigated contract law couldn't remember where he parked his car. 2013. Doctors at UCLA perform experimental brain scans. Fred McNeill becomes the first living person diagnosed with CTE using modern scanning technology. The lawyer who built cases for clients became the case study proving football destroys brains. His diagnosis opened the floodgates for thousands of other players seeking answers. ALS diagnosis came later. Dementia worsened. The man who studied law while playing linebacker couldn't recognize his own family. Died 2015, age 63, from ALS and dementia complications. A pioneer in proving CTE's reality. Gary Larson, 6'5" defensive tackle who spent 11 seasons as the unsung anchor of the Purple People Eaters. 2-time Pro Bowler who never got headlines because his job was simple. Eat double team so Alan Page and Carl Eller could hunt quarterbacks. Bud Grant called him the policeman because he kept order in the trenches. No glory, just work. After 1976, Larson moved to Washington State and managed a Ford dealership. Sold cars, shook hands. Made a quiet life far from the frozen tundra of Metropolitan Stadium. Then became a hobby farmer. Cattle, land, peace. But football kept the receipts. Memory issues started creeping in. Names, dates, faces. The same brain that read offensive schemes for over a decade couldn't remember what he ate for breakfast. CTE doesn't care about Pro Bowls or how many blockers you occupied. It takes what it wants. Now 85, a hobby farmer in Washington State, struggling with CTE-related memory issues. Joe Kapp, the toughest quarterback you ever saw, led the Vikings to their first Super Bowl in 1970. Most players celebrate individual awards. Kapp refused the team MVP trophy, saying, "There are 40 most valuable Vikings." That's who he was. After football ended in 1971, became a college coach at Cal, lived quietly. CFL Hall of Fame ceremony in Hamilton, Ontario. Angelo Mosca, his old rival from the Canadian Football League, is there. They're 73 years old. Mosca makes a comment. Kapp throws a punch. Both men, pushing 80, swinging at each other while the internet records every second. Viral before viral was everything. But Alzheimer's was already creeping in. The tough guy who refused trophies was losing his mind piece by piece. Died May 2023. Age 85, from Alzheimer's disease after a life of fierce independence. Fran Tarkenton, 5'10" of pure improvisation who rewrote what quarterbacks could do. 18 NFL seasons. Retired holding every major passing record, 47,000 yards, 342 touchdowns. 3-time MVP, Hall of Fame in 1984. The scrambler who drove defensive coordinators insane because you couldn't game plan chaos. After football, Tarkenton went straight to Wall Street, founded Tarkenton Software in 1983, built a business empire while other quarterbacks were doing car commercials, became a motivational speaker, wrote books, made investments that would make Warren Buffett jealous. Here's the crazy part. Tarkenton bought Apple stock in the early 1980s when nobody believed in personal computers. Held it. That one decision made him richer than his entire NFL career. Net worth estimated over $300 million. Most quarterbacks retire and fade. Tarkenton scrambled right into Fortune 500 boardrooms. At 85, still alive with an empire that made prescient Apple stock bets. Drop a comment. Which purple people eater deserved a ring the most? Page? Eller? Marshall? We're collecting receipts on who got robbed the hardest. Matt Blair. 6'5" linebacker who played 12 seasons terrorizing special teams, famous for blocking 20 punts during his career. 20! Nobody else in NFL history has touched that number. 6 Pro Bowls. The Vikings' all-time leading tackler. Super Bowl appearances in 1974 and 1977, where he made quarterbacks regret dropping back. After retirement in 1985, Blair stayed in Minnesota, worked in finance, lived quietly. Then 2015, public announcement, dementia diagnosis. The same brain that read punt formations and timed his leaps perfectly couldn't remember his grandchildren's names. Every blocked punt, every tackle, every collision added up in ways nobody understood until it was too late. Blair became one of the first former players to publicly discuss his cognitive decline, opening doors for others to seek help. Died 2020, age 70, with death linked to CTE complications from his relentless play. Carl Eller. 6'6" defensive end with 133 career sacks who made quarterbacks check under their beds. 15 seasons. 6 Pro Bowls. Hall of Fame in 2004. The left end of the Purple People Eaters who destroyed offenses with Alan Page, Gary Larson, and Jim Marshall. Super Bowl losses in 74, 75, 77. 0 rings, but infinite respect. After football, Eller fell into addiction. Cocaine, alcohol, hit rock bottom, then climbed out, became a licensed drug and alcohol counselor. Founded Triumph Life Center, helping others fight the same demons he conquered. Spent decades saving lives instead of ending quarterback careers. But here's the twist. Eller became an accomplished ceramic artist. His pottery is displayed at US Bank Stadium. The same hands that delivered violence now create beauty. November 2025. Viral death hoax spreads across social media. Fans panic. At 83, still alive and creating, having survived a viral death hoax in 2025. Mick Tingelhoff. 6'2" center who started 240 consecutive games. Never missed a start. From 1962 to 1978, 6 Pro Bowls. Hall of Fame nomination after nomination rejected, until finally 2015. Canton calls. August 8, 2015. Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Tingelhoff stands at the podium in his gold jacket. Fran Tarkenton speaks for him, because Mick can't form words anymore. Severe dementia and aphasia have eroded his brain. The man who never missed a game can't remember his own speech. 240 consecutive games of collisions, snap after snap after snap. The price? His mind. Football took everything. Died 2021 at 81, with his mind eroded by football violence. The price paid too late. Paul Krause. 6'3" safety who played 16 seasons and picked off 81 passes. 81. Nobody in NFL history has touched that number. 8 Pro Bowls. Hall of Fame in 1998. The ball hawk who made quarterbacks think twice about throwing deep. 4 Super Bowls. 0 rings. But the stats? Untouchable. After hanging up the cleats in 1979, Krause didn't chase Hollywood or open restaurants. He went into public service. Served 20 years as Dakota County Commissioner in Minnesota, then bought restaurants and golf courses. Built a quiet empire while his linebacker teammates were losing their minds to CTE. Here's the mystery. While Fred McNeill, Matt Blair, and Wally Hilgenberg all deteriorated from dementia, Paul Krause stayed sharp. Same era, same violence, different position. Safeties hit hard, but linebackers absorbed more repetitive trauma. Krause's cognitive health became the outlier in a generation of broken brains. At 83, still alive and cognitively intact, the outlier among his violent brethren. Wally Hilgenberg, 6'3" linebacker who spent 16 NFL seasons delivering violence. 10 years with the Vikings, 4 Super Bowl appearances, 0 rings. The fan favorite who played with pure grit and toughness. The guy who made running backs regret taking handoffs. After retirement, Hilgenberg stayed in Minnesota. Then the symptoms started. Muscle weakness, difficulty speaking. Doctors diagnosed ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. Hilgenberg fought it like he fought offensive linemen, hard, relentless, but his body kept deteriorating. August 2008, Wally Hilgenberg dies at 66. Everyone thought it was ALS. Post-mortem at Boston University revealed the truth. Advanced CTE, stage 3. His brain was demolished by football. The ALS diagnosis? Wrong. CTE had been mimicking the symptoms the entire time. His case changed everything. Proved that football's damage hides behind other names. Opened doors for families who'd been told their fathers had something else. Metropolitan Stadium, frozen metal bleachers. Your breath hanging in the air while the purple people eaters made grown men quit. If you were there, we want to hear it. Ahmad Rashad, 6'2" receiver who caught passes from Fran Tarkenton during the Vikings' final Super Bowl runs. 4 Pro Bowls. The deep threat who made defensive backs panic. 78 career touchdowns across 10 NFL seasons. Changed his name from Bobby Moore to Ahmad Rashad in 1973. 4 Super Bowl losses, 0 rings. After 1982, Rashad became America's sportscaster, NBC Sports, NBA Inside Stuff host for 16 years. The smooth voice narrating Michael Jordan's greatness while Rashad never got his own ring. Covered Super Bowls he never won. Interviewed champions while remembering what second place felt like. But here's the thing. Rashad once said America doesn't appreciate second place, only cares about winners. He was right. 4 Super Bowl appearances mean nothing without the trophy. So he became the guy telling other people's winning stories instead. At 76, still alive as the face of sports broadcasting, having found victory in the booth. Ed White, 6'2" offensive guard. 17 seasons between Minnesota and San Diego. 4 Pro Bowls. From 69 to 77, he anchored the Vikings line, 6 of those years making Tarkenton's scrambles possible. Super Bowl appearances in 74 and 77. No rings, just work. After 1985, White became an artist, started painting environmental abstracts, bright colors, flowing shapes, beauty created by hands that once delivered violence. Galleries displayed his work. Critics praised his vision. The offensive lineman found peace in art. Then 2018, Alzheimer's diagnosis. The same brain that read defensive schemes couldn't remember yesterday, but White kept painting. Used art as therapy. Said, art is medicine. Every brushstroke fighting the fog creeping into his mind. Creating while forgetting. The guard who protected others, now protecting himself the only way he knew how. At 78, still alive, still painting through Alzheimer's, proving art is a weapon against the void. Bud Grant, 6'3" coach who turned misery into motivation. Coached the Vikings from 1967 to 83. 4 Super Bowls, 0 rings. But his legacy? The brotherhood of suffering. Prohibited sideline heaters at Metropolitan Stadium when it was 15 degrees below zero. Made opposing teams freeze while his Vikings embraced the cold. Grant's psychology was simple. If everyone suffers together, nobody suffers alone. The frozen tundra became a weapon. Visiting teams wore parkas. Vikings wore short sleeves. Psychological warfare disguised as weather. After coaching, Grant never really left, stayed in Minnesota, became the living embodiment of Vikings football for 40 years. Appeared at games, told stories, represented an era when coaches didn't coddle players, they forged them. Hall of Fame in 1994, the first coach to take a team to 4 Super Bowls and lose all of them. But in Minnesota, he's still royalty. The man who weaponized winter. Died March 2023, age 95, having outlived the era he shaped. Gene Washington, 6'3" receiver who caught passes from Fran Tarkenton and Joe Kapp during the Vikings' glory years. 1967 to 72, the deep threat who made cornerbacks panic. 2 Pro Bowls, Super Bowl appearances in 70 and 74, 0 rings. But the career after football? That's where Washington won. After 1972, Washington earned an MBA from Stanford, then joined 3M Corporation as Workforce Diversity Manager, spent years breaking barriers in corporate America while his former teammates were doing autograph signings, built a second career that meant more than touchdowns, NFL Director of Football Operations. Washington moved from catching passes to disciplining players and shaping game rules. The same guy who once fought for yards was now deciding what constituted a catch, spent years in league governance, shaped policy, became more powerful than he ever was on the field. At 81, transitioned seamlessly from player to corporate and league governance. Jim Finks, the architect, general manager who built the Vikings dynasty through the draft and trades. Drafted Carl Eller in '64 and Alan Page in 1967. Built the Purple People Eaters brick by brick. But his masterpiece? 1972, trading for Fran Tarkenton, bringing him back to Minnesota. The Scrambler reunited with the defense. 4 Super Bowls followed. Finks left Minnesota in 1974, became GM of the Chicago Bears, then the New Orleans Saints. Everywhere he went, teams got better. The builder who understood talent better than anyone. Then 1994, lung cancer. Finks, age 66, dies before seeing his ultimate honor. 1995, Pro Football Hall of Fame induction, posthumous. The man who built champions never got to wear his gold jacket. His widow accepted it in Canton while the football world mourned what he created. Bobby Bryant, 5'11" cornerback who played 14 seasons terrorizing receivers from 1967 to 80. The underrated defensive back who made game-changing plays when it mattered most. 4 Super Bowls, 0 rings. But one moment? Frozen forever. December 26, 1976. Vikings vs. Rams. NFC Championship game. 4th quarter. Los Angeles attempts a field goal. Bobby Bryant blocks it. Picks it up. 90 yards. Touchdown. The crowd at Metropolitan Stadium explodes. Vikings win. Advance to Super Bowl XI where they lose to the Raiders, but nobody remembers that part. After football, Bryant stayed connected to Vikings history, appeared at alumni events, signed autographs. The defensive back who made one of the greatest plays in franchise history never let fans forget. Today at 81, the defensive back who ran 90 yards for a touchdown finally got a ring in 2024, just not the Super Bowl kind. Jerry Burns, the offensive coordinator who helped Fran Tarkenton rewrite the record books, coached Vikings offense from 1968 to 85 under Bud Grant, the genius who made the Scramblers' chaos into a system, then became head coach in 86. 6 seasons, 3 playoff appearances, 1 NFC Championship game. But Burns was famous for something else, his post-game rants. Microphones caught everything. Profanity that would make sailors blush. Emotional volatility that became legendary. "What the bleep are we doing?" became his signature phrase. Reporters loved him because he never held back. No coaches speak, just raw anger and passion. After 1991, Burns retired to Iowa, lived quietly. The volcano that exploded every Sunday went dormant. Died in 2021 at 94 with his legacy intact. The coordinator who made champions and the head coach who made headlines. Who was the most underrated Purple People Eater? Larson? Sutherland? The guys who made Page and Eller possible? Drop your answer because this matters. Chuck Foreman, 5'10" running back who revolutionized the position. NFC Rookie of the Year in 1973, NFC Offensive Player of the Year. 5 straight Pro Bowls. The prototype modern hybrid back who caught passes out of the backfield when nobody else was doing it. 76 career touchdowns, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 0 rings. Foreman should be in Canton. The stats say it. The tape proves it. But the Hall of Fame keeps saying no. Year after year. Nomination after nomination. Nothing. The running back who invented the modern position got forgotten. After football ended in 1980, life got hard. Legal troubles. Financial struggles, but Foreman rebuilt himself through education, became a substitute teacher, started mentoring at-risk youth. The same hands that carried footballs now carry textbooks, teaching kids that setbacks don't define you. At 75, he rebuilt his life through education after legal hurdles and a Hall of Fame rejection. Doug Sutherland, 6'3" defensive tackle who spent 14 seasons as the Purple People Eaters' secret weapon. Not a starter, not a star. Just the rotational player who Coach Grant trusted completely. Started in Super Bowl IX against the Steelers. 0 drop-off. That's what Grant said. When Sutherland entered, the defense didn't weaken, it stayed dominant.
After 1979, Sutherland lived quietly. The fifth man of the legendary defensive line didn't chase fame or headlines, just existed in the shadow of Page, Eller, Marshall, and Larson, the guy who made the machine work without ever getting credit. But his teammates knew. Grant knew. The tape showed it. Doug Sutherland was the reason the Purple People Eaters could rotate without weakening. The backup who played like a starter every single snap. Died April 2022, age 73. The quiet hero who defined the backup role.
Bill Brown, 5'11", 230 pounds of pure punishment. The fullback who spent 14 seasons clearing holes for other running backs to get glory. Over 5,000 career rushing yards, 52 touchdowns, 4 Super Bowls, 0 rings. The battering ram who never complained about blocking while others scored. Brown played when fullbacks were human missiles, led with his helmet, destroyed linebackers, absorbed hits that would hospitalize modern players. Every carry, every block, every collision deposited trauma into his brain like a savings account he couldn't access. After retirement in 1974, Brown lived quietly. Then cognitive decline, memory loss, mood swings, moved into a memory care center, couldn't remember his playing days, couldn't remember his family. Football took everything. Died at 80 in 2018. When Boston University opened up his brain, they found what everyone already knew: advanced CTE. Boom Boom was demolished long before he died. Lonnie Warwick, 6'1" linebacker who played 8 NFL seasons delivering punishment. Undrafted out of Tennessee Tech, made the Vikings roster through pure toughness. 6 seasons in Minnesota from 1975 to 80. The backup linebacker who played special teams, made tackles, hit hard, did the dirty work nobody remembers. After 1981, Warwick went into coaching, high school, college, teaching the next generation how to read offenses and deliver hits. Spent decades passing down knowledge. The linebacker who learned from the Purple People Eaters became the teacher showing others how it's done. October 2024. Lonnie Warwick dies at 82. No big headlines, no lengthy tributes, just another Purple People Eater gone. The hard-hitting linebacker who spent his post-career coaching. Generations of linebackers learned from his film and his wisdom before he left. 4 Super Bowls, 0 rings. One question that haunts Minnesota forever: what if they'd won just one? The Purple People Eaters dominated a decade, made quarterbacks retire early, put fear into every offense. But America only remembers champions. Second place gets forgotten. 4 times they reached the summit. 4 times they fell. Some became judges. Some became artists. Some lost their minds to the game they loved. The Vikings who played in the coldest stadium without heaters are gone now. Most of them. The ones still here? They carry memories of what almost was. The brotherhood of misery that Bud Grant created didn't end when the stadium got heaters. It lasted until the last man standing couldn't remember why they suffered. That's the Purple People Eaters, the greatest defense that never got rings. The team that defined toughness in an era before anyone understood the price.